What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Legitical Response. We cover political news, keep you up to date, and keep you informed with everything that the government does, because the government's constantly on the moves, and we need to know what they do, because they do a lot of underhanded stuff, y'all. We also read out the news, and we put these news stories through the logic test, because a lot of times we know the mainstream narrative machine lies to everybody. They love to twist facts around, and they'll say stuff that doesn't make any sense. That's what I'm here for, to help inform the people. We go through this news, we counter the narrative, and we give you the facts and then give you the opinion. Now, we've been talking about a lot of stuff going on because we have an election coming up, you guys. The election's starting to ramp up. Campaigns going off, raising money over here, raising money over there. We're doing all kinds of stuff, and Congress hasn't been in, so it's kind of been slow on the news. But scouring the news today, I happened to come across a gem that I thought I would bring to you guys, and it brings up some good, interesting national security issues. Check this out. House to take up bill to reauthorize crucial U.S. spy program as expiration date looms. Now, what this is, right? So when Congress comes back in, they're going to go ahead and throw out the Ukraine aid and see how that fares, right? And hopefully that's going to fail, because I don't like funding foreign wars. I don't think war is a good thing. I've said this millions of times, probably. War is terrible. Why are we not trying to stop the war? And why are we trying to egg on the war and push toward World War III? We know that that's what they're trying to do. Anthony Blinken just recently came out in a statement saying outright that, yes, Ukraine will be in NATO. And Putin has said several times in the past that if Ukraine joins NATO, that is a red line that cannot be crossed. We will go to war. It will be World War III. So you might be thinking, now why would Anthony Blinken and all these people, Joe Biden has said it, generals have said it, a lot of European countries have come out and said it. Now, why would they want to do that? Why would they want to push Putin's buttons? Why would they want World War III? Well, that's a very confusing question, because I have no idea. Why would they want millions of people to die, right? Because we know for a fact, just about fact, you can almost guarantee that if we go to war with Russia, we're going to push Russia into a corner. We know we can easily take out Russia's military in a conventional war situation. Yeah, we'll take a lot of casualties, of course, because they're going to fight back, naturally. But they have nukes. They have a lot of nukes. And they will throw their nukes at us. So, knowing this, why would our leaders push us into a situation that's going to just completely destroy the world economy? I have no idea, but I'm vocalizing every chance I get to tell these people and let them know we don't want war at all. But let's get into the story, because I've went off about some other crap, right? Check it out. The House is set to consider a bill next week that would reauthorize a surveillance program that U.S. officials consider vital to national security, but that critics say raises privacy concerns. The action comes shortly before the program, known as Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, expires on April 19th. Though the prospect for passage is uncertain, senior administration officials said in a call with reporters on Friday that they believe the bill preserved the most critical aspects of the spy program while also including guardrails. Section 702 permits the U.S. government to collect without a warrant the communications of non-Americans located outside the country for the purpose of gathering foreign intelligence. Now, that is all nicely wrapped up in a neat little box and brought to you as, hey, this is just meant to spy on foreign countries. But we know from Crossfire Hurricane and that whole debacle, the Russia hoax, or as Trump likes to say, Russia, Russia, Russia. Which, I don't, why does he do that? It's like, why does Trump say some of the stuff he says? I have no idea, but we know that was used to spy on the Trump campaign, right? Now, we only know that because of Trump got put into office and all that information came out. Now, we don't know how extensive this is and how extensive this is used to spy on, like, me and you. It says it's for non-American citizens outside of the country. But hang on, there's provisions in the FISA Act, I guess, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, that says that if you're in communication with somebody outside of the country and they just so happen to be surveilling those people, that they can surveil you now. You might think, well, hey, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe these people are spying. But hang on. We have the First Amendment. We have freedom of speech. The government isn't supposed to be able to spy on you in such a way, right? But so we know the FISA was used to spy on Americans. This isn't a good thing. And this would be just another tool for the Biden administration to spy on people. We know that the Biden administration is very underhanded, right? They're doing all kinds of stuff that we don't like. And, you know, RFK Jr. has recently come out and said this.
Really believe that when people talk about the threat to democracy that Trump poses, do you really think that that is an equal evil to Biden?
I mean, listen, I can make the argument that President Biden is a much worse threat to democracy. And the reason for that is President Biden is the first candidate in history, the first president in history that has used the federal agencies to censor political speech, so to censor his opponent. I can say that because I just won a case in the Federal Court of Appeals and now before the Supreme Court that shows that he started censoring not just me. 37 hours after he took the oath of office, he was censoring me. No president in the country has ever done that. The greatest threat to democracy is not somebody who questions election returns, but a president of the United States who used the power of his office to force the social media companies, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, to open a portal and give access to that portal to the FBI, to the CIA, to the IRS, to CISA, to NIH, to censor his political critics. President Biden, for the first president in history, to use his power over the Secret Service to deny Secret Service protection to one of his political opponents for political reasons. He's weaponizing the federal agencies. Those are really critical threats.
And we know from that lawsuit that RFK was talking about that, yeah, the Biden administration was banning conservatives on social media. This is coming from somebody who supposedly uphold democracy, right? Well, our Constitution is part of our democracy, right? Our supposed to be democracy, but just so that you know that when they say democracy, that's not what they mean, y'all. They don't mean the ability for us to be able to go to the ballot and pick and choose whoever we want. We know they don't mean that because they were trying to ban the opposition, right? If we don't align with their narrative, then we're the opposition and we deserve to be shut up. Well, that's not how this country works. And that makes Joe Biden a much bigger threat to democracy. But then you have, the hypocrisy of the left, a Hippocratic Democratic situation going on, I guess, if you will. The Biden administration recently put out an ad that said this.
Values and beliefs that built this country and still beat in our hearts. But they're under attack by an extreme movement that seeks to overturn elections, ban books, and eliminate a woman's right to choose. Joe Biden has made defending our basic freedoms the cause of his presidency. The freedom for women to make their own health care decisions. The freedom for our children to be safe from gun violence. The freedom to vote and have your vote counted. For seniors to live with dignity. And to give every American the freedom that comes with a fair shot at building a good life.
Now, I imagine most people would listen to that ad and be like, yeah, that sounds great, right? But hang on, if you look at it, they're talking about a woman's right to choose, right? They start talking about abortion and the woman's right to choose, and then they totally just shift right to protecting children. Now, hang on, what is abortion? You're killing your child, but you want to protect children? Yeah, that's total hypocrisy, and I really hope that people see this and understand that for what it is. These people don't care about you. They just care about retaining power for themselves. That's all they want. That's all they've ever wanted. It seems to be like that's their playbook because they do so many hypocritical things. It blows your freaking mind. And as a matter of fact, if you watch my next video, you'll see even more of that. Yeah, we're going to go into the border on my next video. But, it's really hard to trust what comes from the Democrats these days because, before, when Trump was still in office, we're going to start talking about COVID now. Before Trump was in office, he put together this program, Operation Warp Speed, that created a vaccine for COVID, right? And, Trump, in the way that he does, came on, oh, it's the greatest thing ever, blah, 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 blah. Well, you had Kamala Harris and Joe Biden were skeptical of the vaccine, right? However, when Joe Biden gets voted into presidency, what does he do? He starts touting the vaccine as if he was the one that made it. So, oh, yeah, we're vaccinating more people than Trump did. Well, hang on, dude. That vaccine just came out. Of course you're going to be vaccinating more people. It was an experimental vaccine. And as a matter of fact, another threat to, what is actual democracy, Joe Biden and his administration, in their infinite wisdom, tried to use OSHA, for crying out loud, to push their vaccine mandates, right? A governmental organization that was put together to make sure that the citizenry, you and I, have a safe work environment. They were trying to use that as a guise for pushing this vaccine, to force people into a vaccine that was experimental, right? And if you raise questions about that experimental vaccine, you got kicked off of social media for that. That's not very democratic, if you ask me. But we know that when they say democracy, that's not what they mean. The Democrats mean something totally different when they say democracy, and we got to know that. We've got to push back on some of their language, right? A woman's right to choose actually means your right to kill your child if you accidentally got pregnant, right? Gender affirming care means to sterilize your kid and turn them into a different sex, or at least try to, because you can't successfully change your sex. That is divorced completely from reality, and we know this. So we know when they say democracy, that means their right to have power over you, and we don't want that. What we need, and this, and I'm not condoning Republicans, but we do have some Republicans that think like this, that smaller government is the best way to go. Smaller federal government, at least, is the best way to go, because I don't know anybody that loves it when a government agent shows up to their house, or when a government agent shows up to do anything. Do they make things easier on me or you? No, they don't. They only confuse and make things much harder. Regulate you right on out of your job. Regulate you right on out of your business. Regulate you right on out of your house, like what they're doing in California about raising the taxes. If you go to sell your mansion, you now have to pay a 4% tax, essentially collapsing the high-end housing market, right? It dipped more than 70%. That's what Democrat policy does. That's what their democracy is. Their democracy is communism, right? And we fought a long, hard war, a Cold War, to fend off from communism. And then we won, y'all. But did we win? No, we didn't. The communism just went underground and slowly started raising its head in the country that defeated communism. And now we have a Democratic Socialists of America party in the United States. And we have socialists. Look at Bernie Sanders, right? He had a very big following in 2016. And what did the establishment do? The establishment just essentially booted Bernie Sanders right on out, because he had a genuine following. He was a threat to their democracy. Trump was also a threat to their democracy, but there wasn't much they could do about Donald Trump. They thought they were going to win. They actually screwed the pooch on that one, right? We know they screwed the pooch on that one. But what did they do? They just totally used that 4 years to build their forces, and they defeated Donald Trump in 2020. They put the establishment shill Joe Biden into office, and now look what we've got, folks. In a short 4-year period, Donald Trump was able to turn things around and had the economy booming, and he had peace all over the world, and now look at it. The economy is falling apart. Banks are collapsing. The housing market is collapsing. Bridges are collapsing. Yeah, I know. But we've got war in the Middle East. We've got war in Europe. We've got war in Africa. And these people want you to keep the same people in office. I think that blows my freaking mind. I know I say that way too much. Blows my freaking mind. But how else am I going to say it? Because it actually blows my freaking mind. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know. I've ranted on for long enough, though, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. Should we reauthorize FISA, or Section 702, right? You know, is it a good thing to be able to surveil foreign countries, right? If we don't want to be surveilled, why should we allow our intelligence agency to surveil foreign countries? Do you think they want to be surveilled? Or it's for our own national security? Well, why is that? Yeah, I'm not trying to get into all that. But, like I said, let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it, you guys. Y'all are the best. Y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.